Welcome in, everybody. It is week 16, which means we are working towards our fantasy football playoff finishes. I'm hoping everyone is having a good series so far. I know I've had some teams that have been in some really close matchups. I had one come down to the wire with that last Miami drive and Devon Achane. So lots of things to break down. So if you're here with us, throw your questions in the chat. We'll come and answer them. I think Tyler's going to come join me here in just a few minutes. So I'll have him join. So if you got questions, throw them in the chat. Start sit decisions, lots to break down. If you have any waiver questions, if there's a guy sitting out there, let me know, and I will certainly answer those for you. But really excited to be here. I mean, lots of things have been developing this week. I mean, we just saw where Tua ends up getting benched, so I'm really interested to see what happens with Quinn Ewers starting in this offense. Maybe that lasts through the end of the year. Maybe it's just 1 week. I'm not really sure what to expect, but there is a ton happening going forward there. SWL Bo says, evening. Best of luck to those still in it. Yeah, man. Best of luck to you, man. If you still got a lineup out there, I'm wishing you guys all the best. Unless we're playing, then I want to beat you by a million. So I think that, it's interesting to see this time of year. A lot of people are either checking out or they're just literally on edge about every single start set decision. So I totally get it. I relate. There's lots of things to consider. You just want to get your decision right. I know we want to get your decision right. So there's a ton to break down there, but we'll continue to go forward there. And let's get to some questions here. I see the first one I believe that we've got is going to be Lamar or Burrow at the quarterback position this upcoming week. It's going to be interesting. Lamar taking on the New England Patriots. That defense is really, really good, really, really stout right now. Joe Burrow taking on Miami. Miami's giving up a bunch of points all over the place. Personally, I'm going to lean Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's while he did have a bad week this past week, I think it's kind of just a little bit inflated. He was better than what the stats really show. If he gets a touchdown, things can change. T. Higgins should be back in that lineup, so I think that'll help going forward. KJ Frederick says, should I pivot off Waller to play Parkinson instead? There's been a lot of Waller questions, especially in our Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, be sure to go and join that. Check it out. It's free. Waller is someone that I have a hard time trusting, but all that to say, I would probably play him over Colby Parkinson. I joke a lot about Colby Parkinson because he's a guy that I was really interested in last year. I hyped him up a ton, and he did absolutely nothing. So I was never wrong. I was just early. But I do think that the Waller touchdowns have been really nice to see. The points that the tight end position is giving up, Cincinnati Bengals give up the most points to the tight end position. So a lot points to Waller being a solid play. But now we have the question mark of what do we do with Quinn Ewers? And does that change our decision? Does that change our process there? And I don't think it really is. I think I'm just going to trust the process that Waller will be a key part of that offense because really right now it's Achane, Waller, and, outside of that, you're just hoping for the best from Waddle. SWL Bo says, if Drake London out, DeMarcado, Godwin, Pearsall, or Chris Rodriguez, half PPR, 6-point TDs. Big question mark here, man, is going to be another one of, is Pearsall going to play? I don't really think Pearsall will end up playing. Rodriguez, I think they're giving more burn to Jacory, just given the fact that they're basically playing for nothing right now. So I think they want to see what they have in Jacory. Most of this year, what we've seen so far is that Jacory comes in on the third drive when he hasn't started games. This past week, he came in earlier than that. So I kind of think that's going to remain the same. So I'm kind of avoiding Chris Rodriguez if I can. I totally understand that he's a guy that's gotten decent volume and decent opportunities so far this season, but I just think that you have to be careful with what you're doing with him. So I wouldn't really expect a ton out of that offense. So all that to say, I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. I think it's a must-win game for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Panthers in a surprise game, in my opinion. Like, who would have thought we'd be sitting here? It's December 17th, and we're just talking about how important it is for this Panthers team to get a win, to possibly win the division. I mean, the South is coming down to the wire, and it kind of shows how bad that division really is. So I'm excited for that game. I know I've got a lot of family in North Carolina, so a lot of people are going to be really invested in that in my life. Justin Kyle says, Burden, if out, or Ibuka. Also, Ferguson or Parkinson, both PPR. For me, I'm going to go with Ibuka. I get the process of Burden. Now, I do believe Burden ended up missing practice today, too. I'll double check that here while we're looking stuff up. And let's talk about the tight ends for a second. I'm going to go with Ferguson. I mean, again, going back to Parkinson, I love what he's done. I'm a big Parkinson believer. Like, don't get me wrong, but I do think that there's just, I just don't see how you can bench a guy like Jake Ferguson, who's been so steady and so good this year. So I would definitely roll with him. And I don't know why I can't get this to load. So I can't get it to load to see if Burden's going to end up playing. So I will continue to work on that and come back to it just go. Need one tight end, Warren or Ferguson, Parkinson and TJ Hawkinson also available to pick up. So the Parkinson questions are coming in hot and heavy right now. So I appreciate you guys for putting me on the spot about one of my former guys here. But the Warren or Ferguson, that's really where I sit. The big question is, again, what do we do with this offense? With the Colts, I mean, we talked about how Phillip Rivers was going to be interesting to see. He did everything that he needed to do to win that game. They just didn't do it. Now, it wasn't because of how spectacular he played, just more of just how he didn't turn the ball over, made the right decisions, had some good reads at times. They've already announced they're going to stick with him. They're going to continue to roll with him this upcoming week. I'm just not sure I'm going to trust a guy like Tyler Warren. And so I'm just going to manage my expectations. The San Francisco 49ers do give up some points to the tight end position, 11th most. But I'm going to go with Ferguson here again, kind of like the answer before. I don't know how you don't play him. He's been consistent enough for me that I got to find a way to keep him in my lineup. We've got Joe Burrow and Bo Nix here. So 6-point passing touchdown league. Questions of who to play here. I'm probably going to stick with Joe Burrow still. I mean, I get the process of Bo Nix. Jags, they're playing better. They're a pretty good defense, finding a way to make plays all over the place. It's really surprising, to be honest, but Liam Cohen has absolutely turned this team around. But I'm going to stick with Joe Burrow. I think that's the name that I would go with. Again, it's kind of like I mentioned before. I understand he had a bad week, but I'm not going to put too much stock into that. I do think he has the opportunity to turn around. If he gets some touchdowns, T. Higgins back in the lineup, he'll be just fine. We did get our first super chat. So Stephen Drake's appreciate you here with the $4.99 super chat. This is half PPR. Would you start Judkins or Henderson? Also Burrow or Prescott? Thanks. No, man, I appreciate that for you. This is a really interesting dilemma. I actually just recorded my running back video, so that's going to be uploaded tonight. And for my rankings, I have Quinshon Judkins at 17, so I'll just give you a little peek there. And I have TreVeyon Henderson at 11. I'm going to start TreVeyon Henderson. While you certainly could make the argument that Judkins is, maybe in a better matchup, I don't know. I wouldn't really say that personally. Some stats might lean that way just because he's playing Buffalo, and Buffalo gives up the 4th most points to the running back position, whereas TreVeyon's taking on Baltimore, so a little bit tougher there, but Baltimore still has given up points to that running back position. I just think that when you really step back and look, you could absolutely get a repeat of what happened to Judkins this past week, where he got you, 4 points, 5 points, depending on your format. The offense is just inconsistent. You can't trust it. And he doesn't do enough out of the backfield to make up for that. I mean, I think he had 12 carries for like 27 yards. So I'm not a big fan of that, whereas TreVeyon is the name right now that at any given moment, he could drop 30 points like he did this past week. And I'm going to live and die by that. I don't care if I end up losing because of that. I would rather lose with a guy I think that can score me 30 on a week. Yes, he's had some inconsistent weeks, but he continuously makes big-time plays. I mean, we've seen multiple 50-yard touchdowns, and I'm not sure the Patriots have ever done that in like the last 20 years. Saw a crazy stat the other day from Joe Carlton talking about how big plays were coming like crazy in the running game that have not happened in New England for a long time. And then to close out here for you, you've got Burrow and Prescott at the QB position. Prescott taking on the Chargers, closing in on over 4,000 yards passing on the week. Joe Burrow taking on Miami. And this kind of continues to bode well with this Miami matchup. You guys are really interested in exploiting Miami. Lots of questions there. I want to say Dak just because of the amount of opportunity he's getting to throw the ball, but I think I'm going to stick with Burrow. I just think that Burrow is the right move. I think they're trying to end on some high notes. He doesn't give a crap that they're not winning right now. They're out of the playoffs. I mean, they're eliminated. I think he cares about winning this game and proving his legacy, because I think he's pretty pissed off about that. And again, T. Higgins coming back in the lineup. You already got Chase out there. I mean, we'll see. We've had some great weeks from Chase Brown too. I mean, this past week he had 7 targets and 7 catches, so he's going to continue to remain involved. So I like Burrow going forward. That's the guy I would play in my lineup. But again, appreciate the super chat there, Steven. And getting back to where we were, I believe we left off right here with Mike. Says, should I start Javonte or Mike Evans in my flex? Thanks. I'm going to go with Javonte. And is this really Hoff? Okay, that's cool. I'm going to go with Javonte. That's the guy that I would play. I think that's probably the best safe play, in my opinion. I think that you could absolutely start a guy like Mike Evans, but I'm just not sure that I really trust it. I mean, the health has been all over the place. He is important to this team. He does make the big plays, moves the chains. But at the same time, what I know about Javonte Williams is he's going to get 15 to 20 opportunities. The big question mark is he going to be healthy? We saw him exit the game, but he did end up coming back in. That matters to me. He's been off the injury report. I mean, he's on it, but limited. So I'm going to continue to play Javonte unless we get some news otherwise. Scorpion says start 2, Michael Pittman, George Pickens, Michael Wilson, and Deebo Samuel. Michael Pittman a couple weeks ago would have been an easy play right here, but here we are with Phillip Rivers starting. You can't trust that passing game. George Pickens, we've talked about the Dallas attack, closing in on 4,000 passing yards for Dak. So Pickens is for sure going to be one of my starts. And then Michael Wilson. The great tale of Michael Wilson is going to be hilarious, in several years where there's lots of these guys that have stepped up in the fantasy playoffs and made tons of big-time plays and big playmakers going forward. But I think that when we step back and we look at what we're doing and you talk about Deebo Samuel, that offense has just been way too inconsistent. And I've watched a lot of Washington. I watch every single game, and I just don't think personally that I can throw Deebo Samuel out there in good conscience. And I know it's crazy to say that you're going to play Michael Wilson, but at the same time, you got to play with what's hot. And right now, Jacoby Brissett and this Cardinals team is throwing the ball 500 times a game, and Michael Wilson is a big reason that they're getting it done. I mean, between him and McBride, they have an insane amount of targets and an insane amount of opportunities. So I'm going to start Michael Wilson. I think he's going to continue to get that volume. I mean, here's his targets in the last 6 weeks, 18, 15, 7, 16, 11, 7. So, I mean, just insane volume right there. And you can't get that anywhere else. Deebo's not going to get that. I'm starting Michael Wilson. Herbert or Jacoby staying in that same game. I like what you guys are doing here. We keep going back and forth to the same games here. I'm going to go with Herbert, Jacoby. And it's for what I just said. He gets all that volume, all that opportunity. Herbert has been a little bit banged up. They might lean a little bit more on that run game going forward. So I like what you can get out of a guy like Jacoby Brissett, again, one of these playoff heroes right now, just finding a way to get you a ton of fantasy points just through sheer volume and will. So I like that start. Iggy says, if Rashee Rice is out, who do you prefer, Kelce or Parkinson? I'd probably go Kelce. I think that just starting with Parkinson, he's someone that's probably going to disappoint us, to be quite honest. I know a lot of people want to point towards, well, who's going to get that opportunity with, losing Devontae Adams, who probably will not be playing. He has the hamstring injury. I think if anything, it's going to be more of a Kyren Williams that's going to get the bump than these tight ends. I just don't go chasing the touchdowns. I mean, he's got an insane amount of touchdowns in the last 6 weeks or so. I mean, he had 2 this past week, 1 before that, and then he had 3 consecutive games where he scored a touchdown. But the 5 catches, 75 yards, certainly possible again. But every other week, his yard total is 27 yards, 32 yards, 14 yards. So just be careful starting Colby Parkinson. I would rather start Kelce with a guy that we know that they're probably going to feature, probably give him a ton of opportunities. I'm sure he's playing for some bonuses in his contract. With Mahomes out, he's probably going to be a guy that's going to be leading this team going out of the playoffs because they're not going to make it. First time in a long time. AJ Film says Ibuka or Tet. Tet McMillan, man, this is tough. He missed practice today, so we'll see if he ends up playing. He played last week, only got 3 points, 2 catches for 25 yards, I believe it was. I think that, His health is just the biggest question mark. And if he ends up playing, again, this is a divisional game. You're staying in the same game here. But I just have a hard time benching Ibuka right now. I mean, he's continued getting the involvement. I mean, last week was his lowest targets total, and he had 7. Every other week, 13, 9, 8, 9. And I get the point totals have kind of fallen off from where they were at the beginning of the year. But if he just gets in the end zone, gets some more opportunity, that would help. Now, it is worth noting that this Carolina defense is pretty good. I mean, they're pretty good on the back end. 2 solid corners, some decent safety plays so far this season. So I'm really intrigued in this game. I know I keep talking about it. I talk about it a lot in my running back video about how I just can't believe we're at this point where this game means so much. So I'm just going to go with Ibuka. I think he's a better playmaker on the better passing offense with likely more volume, whereas Ted McMillan might be out. That's the first issue we have. And then he also, has been struggling as of late. He did have that 30-point game in week 11, but things haven't been as good since then. Full PPR, Genty or Kenneth Walker? I'm going to go with Genty. I mean, again, I just did my running back video. I have Genty at 25, and forgive me, I don't remember where I have Kenneth Walker. But Walker's just, you can't trust that offense as far as it goes the running backs, because you know that he'll be used between the 20s. But once they get inside the red zone, he's not going to get that opportunity. We know Zach Charbonnet is going to get it. Both of these guys haven't been enough really that you want to start either one of them. So I would go with Genty. The matchup, a little bit tougher, but even more than that is just the fact of the quarterback play. We're going to see Kenny Pickett, I believe, again. So that's going to kind of hamper this offense and just kind of limits Genty's opportunities. I mean, this past week, only 6 points. The week before that, 4 points. The week before that, 9 points. A big reason why we were not drafting Ashton Genty based on his draft capital. So I'm going to play him, but I'm just having low expectations. Iggy says, also, if Rice is out, I'll be starting Olave and JMO. So who should be in my flex, Kyron or Woody? So let's start with Woody Marks. Big question mark there of, is he going to play? So be sure to monitor that health. He's day-to-day. I think he's going to end up playing. If he does play, the opportunity is really strong, taking on Vegas. That's a good matchup. We want to exploit that if we can. But I'm going to go with Kyron. I think Kyron's the better play regardless. I really like what he can do on the ground. This offense is really good. He's going to get plenty of opportunities, can easily get a rushing touchdown. And then on top of that, again, the beginning of the year, Kyron Williams was really floating his fantasy workload through the air. And I think that can absolutely replicate as we get to this upcoming week where we might have no Devontae Adams. So I'm using Kyron Williams if I have him. I love his play this week. I think he was my RB14, I believe, on the week. And I think there's a good argument to move him up even higher than that. Ryan says half PPR, flex, Michael Carter, Estime, or Jordan Mason. I mean, brother, this is brutal. I hate the question that you're in. This is not a fun position to be in. Audric Estime, I mean, stepping into possibly a workload. It's interesting. Devin Neal's already been ruled out, but this past week, had 36% of the snaps with only 3 carries. Tyler Shuck, my guy, is playing some really good football right now, so shout out to Tyler Shuck. I'm not going to start Estime. Michael Carter is interesting. I mean, we saw that, Bam heading to the IR. Carter had 80% of the snaps last week. That's probably the route I would go. I think he's the guy that's most in line to get more opportunity. He's also someone they trust out of the backfield. He's had at least 4 targets in the last 3 weeks. So that's enough volume to me that I would rather trust that than trust Jordan Mason or Michael Carter. I mean, Mason, while he might be a guy who gets volume and a guaranteed opportunity share of, 10 or so opportunities, he has absolutely no passing work. None. I mean, he has 1 target in the last 6 weeks. So just be careful with starting Mason. I don't think you can trust him in any type of PPR. I get this is half PPR, but I'd rather take what Michael Carter can give me plus the rushing opportunities he's going to get than just banking on a Jordan Mason touchdown. Jared Fortin says Herbert or Brissett, Jefferson or Scary Terry PPR. Let's start with the Herbert Brissett. I said Brissett earlier, so I'm going to stick with that. I just think he's getting so much opportunity to throw the ball right now. It's tough to pass up what he can do. Taking on Atlanta too. I mean, Atlanta, I don't know, man. Like, they're just kind of all over the place right now. And then Jefferson or Scary Terry, that one's tough. I mean, Terry McLaurin had another great week. 75% of the snaps, 3 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Had a pretty big play there that kind of led to that. It was a 51-yard touchdown, I believe, 52 yards, something like that. And, Jefferson, on the other hand, while we saw a great week from 9, we got to call him by his nickname, Jefferson had 8 targets, but only 2 catches. So he didn't get any of those touchdowns, but he is taking on the Giants. So I'm going to roll with Justin Jefferson. I think he's the better player. I have to put him in my lineup. I totally get that Jefferson didn't have a good week and kind of hasn't really had any good weeks in the last little bit. I mean, hasn't hit double digits in the last, 5-6 weeks. I mean, week 9 was his last game where he had 13 points from the box scores I'm looking at right here. This past week, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, 6 points. So it's been really tough sledding for Justin Jefferson. Terry McLaurin steps back in, but we are going to have Marcus Mariota. They're taking on Philly. I think there's a good chance Philly destroys them. Philly's got some better corners than what, the Giants have. So I think all that kind of plays into what I would be doing with that offense. Okay. Dare Bear says Chiefs or Saints this week in week 17. So as always, I default to what our good friend Pete Nova does with the Face Off Sports Network. He is always in there posting his defensive rankings. So if you're not in the Discord, be sure to check that out, Dare. It's free. You can join for free. Pete puts all sorts of content out there. But looking at this week for the defensive purposes, we're looking at the Chiefs and the Saints here. He has the Saints at the 3rd best team on the week and the Chiefs at the 11th best. So I'm going to go with the Saints. He has a video out for his playoff primer where he goes through each week. So go check out that video. I don't know off the top of my head who would be the best matchup for week 17. So I apologize there, Dare, but you could definitely ask Pete. If you throw it in the Discord, he'll even answer your question too in there too. Albert, appreciate you for being here, brother. You are always here. Thanks for tuning in as always. How's your playoffs going, man? You doing anything good? You got any teams that are advancing? I'm interested to hear about your teams. Everybody says, have you touched on A-Chain and what his outlook might be with a QB change? I have not, but I did just do my running back video. And I'll say that, A-Chain is one of those guys where he has every opportunity right now to be the running back 1 on the week. He's taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who give up the most points to the running back position. So the volume and the opportunity is there for A-Chain. But you mentioned the quarterback change is huge. I mean, moving off of Tua, Quinn Ewers steps in. We have 1 sample size of Quinn Ewers stepping in a game. He played fine. I mean, didn't do anything special. But I think that it's enough for me to move A-Chain down a little bit just because we don't know what to expect. Maybe he doesn't check it down to A-Chain as much. Maybe the offense struggles. Maybe they don't get it done. But it's not enough for me to move him outside of that first tier. I have him as the running back 3 on the week, and I'm going to keep him there. I think he's a big-time playmaker. I think he's going to have plenty of opportunity to score an absolute ton of fantasy points. I mean, if you go back and look at all his box scores, I mean, he's got over 5 targets on almost every single game this year except for 4. This past week, 6 catches for 67 yards, added 12 catches for 60 yards. I mean, he's just so efficient. Even with a bad game like this past week, he got 15 points. His worst game on the season is double digits. A-Chain has been an absolute monster. So I'm not worried about what he can do. It's just how high can he go? I mean, is he going to give you that 30-point week that he had, in week 6? Probably not. But do I expect him to probably be somewhere around where he was this past week, getting 16 to 20 points? I do. I think he's going to be that good. Sports Zone says Waller or Parkinson. So we're back to this question again. You guys are killing me. I might be so wrong on Parkinson because I've yet to pick him once. I'm going to go with Waller. I get it. Again, Quinn Ewers stepping in. But I think what you're going to trust for this young guy is he's going to rely on A-Chain and then Waller. I think they're the 2 guys that are going to be shallow underneath, getting those catches in the zones, finding space, getting open. They're vets. I think they're going to get it done for Quinn Ewers. Maybe not win the game, maybe not be very good. But the Bengals also give up a bunch of points to the tight end position. So I like Waller. I think he's the right play there. Again, I've talked about how Parkinson isn't someone that I'm relying on. If anything, I think he's a guy that's probably going to hurt more fantasy lineups than he's going to help. Lots of these games where he's gotten touchdown, he's done absolutely nothing with yardage. So if he does not score, he will be hurting your lineup. Stephen Drake says, does this change how I affect with A-Chain? Kind of the same question there that we just had. I would echo what I just said. I'm not really worried about it at all. So I'm not gonna be too afraid. He's been so good. Again, no games that have not been double digits, so he's going to continue to be a monster. Who should I play at the flex? Full PPR league. We've got McLaurin, Devontae, Jalen Warren, and Debo. Corum, and then Emmanuel Wilson if Jacobs ended up missing. Jacobs missing, Emmanuel Wilson would be an interesting play, but I'm going to operate under the assumption that Jacobs is playing because I think he will be playing. So I'll just rule him out right now. I'm ruling out Blake Corum. I'm ruling out Debo. I'm going to go with McLaurin, I'm going to go with McLaurin and Devonta Smith. Smith taking on Washington. Washington gives up 1 billion points to everything. We have absolutely no corners. This is the game where Devonta Smith catches like a 60-yard bomb on like the third play of the game. Just go ahead and mark it down. That's what's going to happen. And then McLaurin, he might get enough volume from Mariota that it just kind of boosts his way there. Debo has just been so inconsistent. Blake Corum, I don't trust him. I think Kyron's going to be the guy and continue to get the volume there. But we've got a couple more questions here. So, again, appreciate everyone watching. We've got 15 over on YouTube right now, more on X. If you're on X, jump on over to the YouTube. If you could give me a like, that helps us out a ton. I would greatly appreciate each and every one of you for being here, and we will continue to carry on to your questions. Irish says, need 2 full PPR wide receivers here. We've got Rice, Michael Wilson, DK, Pittman, Shakir. Thanks, fam. For sure, brother. Appreciate you for being here. Kind of what we hit on earlier. We want to for sure mention that Rashee Rice, is he going to play? I think he will end up playing, so that's just something to at least monitor or keep in mind moving forward. But I'm going to play Rice if he's available, for sure. So that's the easy start. The next tougher question is, what do we do about Pittman, Shakir, and DK and Wilson? Pittman's in an inconsistent offense with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, so I'm just not really necessarily going to trust that too much, enough for me to play him, especially in the playoffs. Shakir, this offense goes all over the place. I think it runs through the running game, not the passing game. That's what we know. And then DK is DK. I mean, he could certainly make a play, but again, kind of has been inconsistent this year. All that to say, I'm starting Michael Wilson. I mean, I read off the target totals earlier. They're absolutely insane. 16 targets, 11 targets, 15 targets, 18 targets. You cannot ask for more. And it's something that I think is that I want to exploit. I want to find a way to get, in that matchup. Hang on here. I got Coach calling me, and he is trying to join this dang show. So let's get him in here. And we will continue to carry on. Thoughts on Ibuka after reports saying Jalen McMillan's role in Bucs offense could continue to grow? I think that there's lots to say about that. Am I worried about what could happen with, Ibuka? No, I'm not. I think Ibuka is going to be just fine. He's going to be a guy that is going to have plenty of volume, plenty of opportunity. And I would continue to roll with Ibuka over Jalen McMillan. I think McMillan's role, while it might be able to expand some, it's not enough for me to really say that he's suddenly going to be a big-time playmaker and just get more opportunity. But moving on to our next one, let's get to Daniel Quinton says, hi, I need help. Make it to the semifinal after a 5-win streak. That's huge, man. Way to go there. PPR league, who should I start in the flex? Fannin, Scary Terry, Sutton, or Darren Waller? A QB, Burrow or Nick? So Burrow and Nick seems to be the consistent question at the quarterback position. What are we doing there? I've said it a couple times. I'm going to start Burrow over Nix, and I get it if you want to play Nix. I don't think they're that different, so to me it doesn't really make a big difference, but I'm going to start with Burrow. I think he gives the opportunity for the most fantasy points. Who should I put in at the flex, though? We've got Fannin, Scary Terry, Sutton, and Waller. The idea of Sutton and Nix is interesting, though, if you're a guy that likes stacks. I mean, we've seen what Sutton's did this past week. Fannin had a great week, too. It's full PPR. Scary Terry with Mariota. I'm going to go with Sutton. I think Sutton's the right play here. And so I'm going to go with him. Sorry, I've got Coach all over me right now. Tony says, good evening. Half PPR. Who would you recommend as the flex? Ibuka or risk it all with Carter? Trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Tony, I'll take the blame for you here. I'm going to play Ibuka. I get it if you want to start Carter. I just have said it 100 times. I don't trust this backfield in Arizona. I think he's going to get opportunity, but I think it's just going to be not enough to really do too much. So I would start I would start Ibuka. If I had Carter and I was looking for a desperation running back play, I would certainly be fine. But I just don't really think you can really risk playing him, especially if this is a fantasy championship on the line. Let's get to Dart, Dak, and Brissett. Man, Jacoby Brissett or Dak. Whew, that's brutal. Let's see. Dak or Brissett. I mean, Dak's taking on the Chargers. Brissett. Jacoby is taking on the Falcons. I think before I said Brissett over Dak, but I might end up flipping that and saying Dak. So I'm probably going to start Dak, to be honest. I think he's got enough. I think he's got enough volume that he's going to be able to throw the ball 30, 40 times. Eagles DST over Seahawks DST this week. Great question there. I think, again, this is another one of those close ones. Seattle's defense has been really good this year, but I'm going to go with the Eagles taking on Washington. So I think that's probably the best route. I mean, following up with Irish's question here, it says Bills or Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Bills. Pete has them at number 2 on the week. I'm going to go with them. I think he provides the most upside, the most opportunity. The Bills defense, again, they had a heroic comeback this past week against the Patriots. I think that they're going to be a team that kind of can get hot at the right time. Maybe they can break that Super Bowl curse and get an opportunity this season. But taking on Cleveland, there's a good chance they can make life really, really difficult for this Browns offense and just really kind of bottle them up and limit what they can do. But that is all the questions we have right now. So if you're still with me, be sure to throw your questions in the chat and I will come and answer them. I'm going to try and get Coach to get in here and get him logged in because apparently we're locked out. But moving on, let's look into some. We've got one more question here. Yeah. Bills or Saints? Again, falling back on what I just said, I'm going to go with the Saints. I think they're the best option here for what we can do at the defensive position. Again, taking on the Browns, they're just limited playmakers. Starting Shador, who has not looked very good, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that are going to make that a hot topic and kind of discuss what that could mean. But I just think that Shador has been really inconsistent, not great footwork, and it's not something I want to trust. Whereas the Bills defense, again, while they gave up a bunch of points last week to start the game, they got really hot, finished that game really, really strong. They'll do just enough, to be quite honest, to get it done and get the dub. But as we move forward, I mean, it's another one of those great times to be thinking about what should we be doing in our dynasty league. So not sure if there's any dynasty questions out there. Really excited to get towards, our drafts. I've got several leagues where I've been working on getting early picks, been working on getting some of those early plays. So I'm excited for those leagues where I'm going to have a bunch of opportunities to get some of these rookies that are coming in this upcoming class. The quarterback class is going to be interesting to see who ends up coming out, who declares. I mean, I've seen where Lenore Sellers is going back to, South Carolina. Arch Manning, we saw where he's going back to Texas. So lots to see of what's going to happen there. We've got Love coming out of Notre Dame. I've seen some reports where they're trying to get him to, go to one of these big schools. They're throwing a ton of money at him. Maybe he comes out. He could be another one of these guys that is a running back that gets drafted really, really high because he has the skill set. And maybe he changes one of these teams that needs a running back. So Lots and lots of things to break down there. Jelly of the Month says, think London, Tet, or Marks play. Need to and want to pick up Parkinson with first waiver. Tet, I think he ends up playing. Woody Marks, he's been day to day. I think he'll end up playing. London's the big question mark. Is obviously he's already missed some time. So I think that you should at least have two of those guys end up playing. Parkinson, I don't necessarily blame you if you're burning a waiver wire to pick him up. Maybe if you want to play keep away from one of your opponents, but at the same time, are you going to start him over your current tight end? That's kind of the big question mark I would have. So I would be hesitant to burn a waiver priority, especially if it was first on Colby Parkinson, if I didn't need him and I thought that I could move forward and win. Any faith in Coker this week? Well, I really wish we could get Coach in here because he would be talking all sorts about Jalen Coker. So I like what Coker can do. Is there any faith in him? Maybe some, but it's at least limited. I wouldn't put a ton of faith in him. If I had a best ball league, I feel great about that. If I had, maybe a DFS play where I want to just find a way to throw him out there and see what happens, I would be fine with that. But I don't think that he's going to be a guy that I want to start in my lineup unless it's a really, really deep league. But let's look at what he did last week. I mean, we saw he got the touchdown, 60 yards on 4 catches. Coker's been one of those guys who started out the year hurt. I mean, he missed the first 7 or 8 games. But it's just something that, if he can develop into that role and be a compliment across from Tet McMillan, he could be really good. He's only 24 years old. Still only 1 year of experience. I mean, he's got all sorts of opportunity to get better with Bryce Young, get better with this offense. So I like what he can do going forward. I think he has an opportunity to continue to get more and more playing time. When we see him out there, I mean, he's basically playing 70% of the snaps each week. Just Kyle says Rams D, Seattle, or Vikings defense versus the Giants. I think that looking at Pete's rankings here, he's got the Vikings at 7, and then he has the Rams at 6. So these teams are back-to-back in Pete's rankings. I would just default to what Pete says, and I'd go with the Rams taking on Seattle. That offense is certainly better. The Giants' offense has been up and down. Dart could, go off and have a great game, or he could do absolutely nothing. 18 PPR Superflex starts. QBs is May. Wide receivers are J-Mo, Pickens, running backs Gainwell, Aaron Jones, tight end Bauer, flex. We've got London and CMC. Bench, we've got Warren, Burrow, Godwin, Marks, Jackson, Shakir, and Hubbard. I play Godwin if London is out. Yeah, that's probably the route I would go, is I would play Godwin if London is out. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if I'd make any changes to this. I mean, you could maybe say Burrow over May, but other than that, that's kind of where I would lean. But we do have a friendly addition here. What's going on, Tyler? Appreciate you for being here, brother.
What's up?
Oh, I don't know if you can, but can you send the link to Coach? I can't get it in. He's blowing up my phone, and I can't get it to him. So I have tried to send it, but it has not worked. So if you guys are here, throw us a like. We'd appreciate it. Throw your questions in the chat. We will certainly answer those. And we've got over 10 people watching right now still on YouTube. We appreciate you for being here. And if you've got some dynasty questions, man, throw them out there, because I'm really interested to see who these guys are buying and selling right now. In dynasty, I know we've got several teams that have either been eliminated that we've been tanking with, or some teams that, we might not be ready to just give up on yet, maybe floating their way through the playoffs, trying to find a way to win. So Tyler, my friend, any fancy thoughts from you, or big things you're expecting for this upcoming week? And just like that, we lost Tyler. So that's going to do it for his takes. And carrying right along, I will pick up where he left off. So I think that it's really – oh, there he is. He's back.
I don't know what happened. It looked like my thing came unplugged here, but changed the angle a little bit. But anyway, what I was saying was, I know one thing. I'm absolutely terrified because I'm going up against Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey in multiple leagues, and I don't even know what to do. So I'm just waiting on that to bite me in the butt. So I'm hoping that while I am a Colts fan and I want us to do good, I'm hoping that Jonathan Taylor doesn't absolutely roast me this week. So
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting with the Jonathan Taylor situation. I mean, I know we've talked about it in our circle of, is it one of the situations where they just load the box and just make Philip Rivers beat them? I think that's what ends up happening. I just did my video and I had Jonathan Taylor at running back 7, and that was really really difficult to put him that far down because I think he's one of those guys that could absolutely finish higher than that.
Yeah, I mean he definitely is. I mean it looky here. Speak of him. He
Speak of the
just took a
devil.
little finesse.
Had to get creative. Had to get creative.
That's all right. Hey, we were talking. Me and you were going up against
We're
each
talking
other
about
in the
Phillip
league
Rivers.
this week. Well, yes, by proxy, but we're actually talking about Jonathan Taylor and how we feel like his outlook is going to be this upcoming week. As somebody who has him on your team and getting ready to go against me, how do you feel?
Very concerned. Obviously, they're going to give him the ball a ton, so the usage obviously is there. They're going to dump it to him because Rivers can't throw it more than 10 yards at this point. That being said, they're going to load it up. The box is going to be loaded heavily, and it's not just a concern this week; it's a concern the following week also. If people that have Jonathan Taylor do win this week and get to your championship, they have tough matchups ahead, and that is the concern because the under center, power game, boot, all that stuff is out the window with Philip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally snap it, hand him the ball. That's what it was the other day. And he's going to get 25 carries. So there's that, right? And that'll give him an opportunity to score and do all those things. I just don't know that you're going to get a gigantic performance. You're going to get maybe what you're expecting, and that's it. Now, is that enough? For instance, for me against Tyler, I need him to really kind of overachieve a little bit. I don't feel great about the odds of that happening, to be honest. That's just where I stand with that.
He says this as he has Bijan and Puka as well.
No. I'm saying when you just look at the numbers between both teams,
yeah,
it's going to take the team that wins is going to be someone that has somebody that really overproduces. That's who wins. Who has the big day.
Yeah,
it really feels that way. Who has a guy that gets you 30 or 40 points when they were supposed to get you 15, or 25 when they're supposed to get you 15? Is that Jonathan Taylor? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I know who it's not going to be. It's not going to be my team because they're sitting at home, and it's the end of an era. The dynasty falls. All things come to an end. Father Time wins. So it's a brutal life. But, Coach, I'm surprised you're here. We appreciate you for jumping in. I know you're crazy busy being a coach and all, winning games, getting stuff done. But all that leads to say is, Coach, I have a question for you. Would you rather play Parkinson or Colston Loveland this upcoming weekend? Because your Bears are in a must-win.
Biggest game in Chicago in years, there's no doubt. Parkinson has went off, right? I'm playing
5 touchdowns in the last 5
I'm playing
weeks.
Parkinson against Tyler. So there's that. The Rams are in Seattle, so you got 2 really tough matchups, to be honest.
My concern with Parkinson is the fact that the yardage, while I understand he had 75 this past week, that's great. There's multiple games in there where he got a touchdown. He had 14 yards, 22 yards, 30 yards. So if he doesn't get that score, you're kind of screwed.
Do you feel like the Devontae news, though? Do you feel like the Devontae being doubtful? Do you think that plays into it at all?
If anything, I think that it bodes more towards Kyren Williams than it does towards the tight ends. Kyren at the beginning of the year was getting an absolute ton of workload through the air. We saw Puka banged up at the beginning of the year. I think that kind of leads more towards Kyren than it does to the tight ends, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I actually like Parkinson more this week. I feel a little better about it. Loveland can really play. I do think he's. I saw a stat today in 40 people with 40 catches or something that only 3 of them didn't have a drop. It was McBride, Laporta, and Loveland.
The tight ends, man, just getting it done.
Yeah, no doubt. I've got a start sit question for you, Matt.
What's up?
Jacoby Brissett or Jordan Love?
I'm going to start Brissett. The amount of Parkinson and Brissett questions I've had before you guys joined is insane. It's been so many that I'm now concerned that everyone's going to lose because I picked Parkinson or because I picked Brissett so many times. I mean, would you rather start Bo Nix or Brissett? Would you rather start Burrow or Brissett? It's at least a question. That's the sad part.
I'm playing Brissett over both of them. It's not even that bad for me.
Just garbage time throwing it, and he's throwing the piss out of it, man.
Yeah.
He's been a top 12 quarterback since he started. The streak has continued, and he just played the Texans too. So you can't say he can't do it against a good defense because he just did it. I mean, you go back and look at his game log. He's been the QB 12 every game he started since week 6. That's his worst finisher's QB 12, and it's 3 times. He's been the 7, 10 twice, 4, 8, and 9. I don't know how you don't play that.
Guys getting it done. Michael Wilson.
Jordan Love, though, was just really good against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had 24 for 40, a touchdown, 2 picks.
I mean, I'm just saying he overproduced for what I was expecting him to do for me. Let's say that.
Jordan Love's he's tough for me to trust, man. Really is. I just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah. I'd trust him over Bo Nix, though.
I trust Michael Wilson.
That's right. I was reading off his targets. It's insane. I'm pull it up again just so we can.
He's always been good. I've been telling you this.
I mean, again, you're never wrong, just early, bro. 18 targets, 15 targets, 7 targets, 16 targets, 11 targets. That's his last 5 weeks.
Can you guess which of those weeks I put him in my DFS lineup?
The 18?
No, the 7.
The 7? Okay. Well, there you go. Well, we got a couple more questions, so let's hit those real quick before we keep goofing around here. Tyler, Genty, Estimate, or Nick Chubb if Woody Marks is out?
You play Genty. He's got the talent. Is Chubb back? I don't even know that he's healthy. Last I checked, it was
Chubb practiced today.
It's Jawar Jordan time.
I was gonna say because Coach picked him up off waivers.
It's not. Chubb practice, Woody Marks practice. No, it was fun. It was fun. That's all I'm gonna say. It was fun.
He was signed off the practice squad yesterday. They liked what they saw.
Gotta throw him in the lineup with all on the line.
If anybody, it's going to be Dare Ogunbowale. That's who it will be.
I love Dare Ogunbowale. Not to mention the Texans' playoff schedule here is pretty nice. I mean, we've got Las Vegas this week, so you like to see that. Parkinson or Tyler Warren? Tyler.
Parkinson. You just can't. You can't play a pass catcher for the Colts right now. I hate to say it, but you just. Can't.
Don't tell Matt that. Don't tell Matt that.
No, you guys are acting like Phillip Rivers went out there and lost the game. He literally won the game, and then the defense lost the game.
Okay, but even though the Colts
lead with 48 seconds, and you guys act like he ran out there and threw 5 picks. I get it wasn't pretty. Football's ugly sometimes, man. It is. He went out there and did absolutely everything he needed to do. Did he complete 500 passes? No, he didn't. But at the same time, did he throw his pick? No, not until the Hail Mary. Golly, you guys.
Does that count as the Hail Mary?
Well, whatever it was. I mean, there was 10 seconds left, and he's throwing it down the field.
Nobody on the team had over 3 catches. That's the issue. 3 catches. Nobody on the team.
Efficiency, Tyler. Spread the wealth.
No, it's not even that. The highest yardage total on the team was 26 yards because Phillip Rivers only threw for 120.
First of all, I really like Phillip Rivers.
The Seattle Seahawks.
I really like Phillip Rivers. He's done. He's toast. He's bad.
The Seattle Seahawks they give up 14 points a week to the quarterback position. They're one of the best in the entire league. He was on the road against Seattle. You guys, I can't with you. I literally can't. Why are we pretending?
He did throw some mean wobbly screen passes.
He
You're
did.
right.
He did. And you know what? A Rich would have thrown it to the other team. That's all I'm saying.
I do
Moving
not
on.
disagree with
Moving
that. I
on.
agree with that.
We need to answer Slidey's question. I'm annoyed with you too.
Uh,
What would you do if your 2-11 team?
He's no
dropped
Tyler
Drake
Shuck.
London?
I'll say that.
You're right. Tyler Shuck to the moon. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Please
do?
Please.
What would you do if a 2-11 team dropped Drake London last week for John Mechie to avoid last place punishment in a loser's bracket? 14-team league, move Drake back to their team. Left hand up, Matt. That's right, brother. Left hand up. Who are we? We're the Commanders. Anyways, if someone dropped Drake London, guys, who was out and you needed a player, if you have a punishment in your league, I don't know how you can be mad at them for making a move.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. I mean, sure, like it looks bad optically, London for Mechie, sure, whatever. But London's not played for what, 3 weeks now. If you really needed a player to play, it's just like somebody could have went out there, and they're not going to do it because of the name. But somebody could have went out there and dropped JJ. Like they could have dropped Justin Jefferson because he's been abysmal. Now, would that be more atrocious because JJ's still playing? Yes. But Drake London is not playing right now. We don't know if he's going to play. So you can't get mad at somebody for dropping a player that they don't think is going to play if they need points.
And my big thing is the punishment.
My question is, why wouldn't they drop him?
Yeah,
Why not?
I get putting him back on the roster, but
Why?
if he was eliminated and nothing happened, if this was a loser's bracket, sure, throw him back on the roster, say no. But what's your punishment? I mean, 1 year in my law school league, our punishment was the loser had to pay the entry fee for the next year for the winner. So money is on the line for that. So am I going to drop someone to avoid paying, $100, $200 buy-in for, a league or something like that? Yeah, dang right I would.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to drop him. Like, who cares? Like, to me, that's part of winning, and winning is staying out of last place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Depending on the punishment, like I don't want that crap. Let me out of last place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence level on Brees with or without Tyrod. Desperation, play Carter over him. I would play Brees over Carter. I mean, I've said it a billion times. I don't trust the Cardinals backfield. Am I more confident with or without Tyrod? I don't really think it matters, to be quite honest.
No, it doesn't matter. Although Tyrod's okay. I mean, he's better than Phillip Rivers right now, but I'm playing Brees too.
Yeah, God forbid that Tyrod play them into a game that they could win against one of the best defenses in the league.
I'm pretty sure they already said today though that Brady Cook was starting again.
They did.
So I wouldn't even. I mean, you're not gonna have Tyrod out there. So I mean, you're playing Brees just because of talent. Like at this point, you're just hoping he does something with it.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to run the ball.
Tyrod is 8 years younger than Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. Hey, Phillip. You know who's the exact same age as Phillip Rivers?
Are you? Just think, you could get out there, lace up one more time, brother.
Let's go.
Give it all you got.
Maybe we can coach on a practice squad. Let's just see. I mean, we'll throw him on the Colts practice squad. That's fine.
Can't be worse than some, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I can get to some of the checks right, and then when the ball gets snapped, it's freaking over.
You're just falling straight to the ground.
Yeah.
JT here.
I catch the snap.
All right. Dustin says, roll with what got me to the playoffs. Dak with a bad matchup, or take a swing at JJ McCarthy. Coach, what's your thoughts here?
Dak.
I don't care who Dak plays. I'm playing him. Like, if he's on my team, I'm comfortable. Like, I'm fine. Like, are there better plays? Sure. But if I have Dak, like, man, again, he's leading the league in passing. Who would have saw that coming?
Me.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it. Zach says, got to run, but wanted to drop a like. I'll watch tomorrow at work. Thanks for all the advice all year, gentlemen. Appreciate you, Zach. As always, you've been another one of those great follows. So thanks for being here. We appreciate you. And Tony Romo says, appreciate it, fellas. Thanks. Well, Coach, that leads us to a great opportunity here. We've got no more questions in the chat. So let's talk about Tyler Shuck and how he is or is not the best rookie this year.
Yes, or I mean, maybe. Like, he looks really good, I think. if you're the Saints, you got to feel pretty confident with Tyler Shuck. Like, I get Spencer Rattler wasn't that bad, but Shuck has brought a whole nother dimension to the Saints. The Saints have been playing better ever since he became the quarterback. There's no denying that. His feet can get him in and out of trouble. Like he has a cannon for an arm. He's completing like 68% of his balls. Like the dude can play.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Matt?
I'm with you. I think it's been nice to see. I mean, we talked a lot about him in the offseason, how he was one of those easy buys in dynasty drafts. I mean, you're getting a possible quarterback at the late second, sometimes in the third round. And here we are. I mean, he's 3-3 as a starter. You know, Spencer Rattler, you mentioned, are they playing that much different? Maybe, maybe not. But Rattler was what, 1-15, had like the worst start of all time as a quarterback. Like he's really, really struggled, where Shuck has found ways to extend plays with his legs. You know, you mentioned his arm, the talent's there. I mean, this is kind of where that, you know, people made fun of him on X a lot this offseason about how, you know, he was 24 or 25 and had 6 or 7 years in college. This is where that comes into play. I mean, he's been in offenses, he's seen a lot, he had different coordinators, so I think that's kind of bode well for him.
He's looked significantly better than Cam Ward and like way, way better than Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Jackson Dart obviously is the other guy who, if he survives the next 2 years at the rate the Giants like to run him, like he weighs 240 pounds.
Oof.
I mean, it's Dart and Shuck right now. Like I'd love to have either one of those guys.
Yeah. Tyler, we'll get to your question in a second, but what's your thoughts, Tyler, on Tyler Shuck?
I mean, well, first off, we've got a great, you know, little room here of Tylers. We've got one in the chat, one here, and then one we're talking about. So obviously it's a good name. But the one thing that I do want to point out, I do like Tyler Shuck a lot. I think he has played very well for, you know, kind of what we saw from the beginning of the season from Spencer Rattler. I think Shuck has come out and shown that even with the same team and same talent, he can get it done. I think we all were on the same page that he probably should have been the starter from week 1, but they wanted to give Spencer Rattler another chance, you know, after last year. So Shuck has shown that he should keep the job at this point. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is if you go back and look, he has played a much easier schedule than what Spencer Rattler played. If you go based off of quarterback scoring. So Spencer Rattler played the first 7 games. He played against Arizona, not great. Played against San Francisco, Seattle, Buffalo, the Giants, New England, and Chicago. Those were the games that Spencer Rattler played in. And then if you go back and you look where, you know, Tyler Shuck has played, really his toughest team that he's played is the Rams. Everybody else has been in the NFC South, which we all know is not a great division. And then he's played Miami. So, I mean, really and truthfully, he's not played great teams, but then again, he's only playing what he's given. We didn't get to see him against those other teams. So I do like what I see out of Tyler Shuck. He's completing a high percentage of his passes. We had talked about that. I think he's somewhere close. He's in the high 60s, I know, close to 70s. But he's still got a great schedule lined up here. I mean, he plays the Jets this week, Tennessee next week, and Atlanta in week 18 if you're still playing then. So I don't know how you don't play him if you don't have 2 great options ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where, again, it pays off to be the guy that drafts these late-in quarterbacks. I mean, they're worth the risk because the cost is so low. I mean, Shuck was a little bit better buy, but now here we are. We're seeing a guy like Quinn Ewers get an opportunity. It's the exact same thing. I mean, you were taking him 4th round, waivers, you know, something like that. And here he is. He's going to step into a role. Does it matter? Does it mean something? I don't know. But it's at least an opportunity to, you know, have a free lottery ticket.
Yeah. But what do you do if you're the Dolphins right now? Like, I know they benched Tua, but he owed like 50-some million next year already or something like that.
Yeah,
like
they can save a ton of money if they cut him.
It's insane. Coach, how are you feeling as the Tua guy?
So glad I got rid of him. I have no shares of Tua.
Life has
Finally.
never been better.
Don't worry. There will be a time whenever he gets traded to another
And-
team. Coach will go
and
back
I
and
did-
get him. 100%.
Yeah, maybe. And I moved him for Terry McLaurin, who gave me
Played
an
well,
outside
yeah.
chance, right?
Yeah, played well. 51-yard touchdown, big play against the Giants.
Just, one more semifinal loss to Tyler. Here we come. It'll be 3 years in a row.
Speaking of Tyler, he says if Rice doesn't play,
Man,
Reed or
I've got
Devontae
Rice.
Smith.
I've got Rice and Colt cruising, and it's like, oh, a punch in the gut, man, because he's played so good and been so big, and he's not going to play, bro.
Yeah. Would you play Reed or Devontae Smith? Time out. Are you wearing an app shirt?
I am.
Oh my God. Who are you? Who are you?
Ew.
I'm blown away.
Yeah,
Ew.
Your wife finally won.
my daughter's going to go there, so there you go.
Oh God. Give me a break. Okay.
Go
Anyways,
Cats.
I get it. I get it.
I'm happy for Clara.
I love how you guys are upset about a rivalry you never got to be a part of.
Well, I have never heard. I don't know how many texts I have from you where you literally went to app and the entire time you said, "I'm going to throw up. This
I
makes
do
me want to
that.
throw up."
You're
And
right.
then she
You're right.
posted a picture of you, and you said, "I hate this picture more than anything in the world." I don't know what you want me to say. This is about you.
I know, but as soon as you realize your money's going to go there, you kind of have no choice.
You're
right?
stuck. You're stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying for it. Yeah. All right, Coach.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Stephen Drakes. It's actually his second one he sent in tonight. You guys,
I
missed
say,
the first one.
wait, we didn't. I say Devontae Smith.
I was just saying,
Tyler.
yeah, we didn't answer the question.
Oh, okay.
I would go Devontae Smith as well.
I would as well. That's a
Um,
clean sweep for Devontae Smith.
Mhm.
It's just the injury possibility with Reed. I know Smith is unpredictable, but they're taking on the Commanders. No offense, Matt, but their defense is god awful. So
I said
Um,
earlier, third play of the game, 60-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith. That's my prediction.
it's very
Third
possible.
play. First drive.
Jaden Daniels regression. By the way, I called that a year ago. This time. All right, go ahead.
Stop.
He's also hurt.
Don't even. Yeah, stop. Is Estime a good pickup, Coach? And if so, would you drop Coker? And he did ask earlier, Coach, any faith in Coker this week. So what's your thoughts there?
Coker actually made a big play. I mean, I guess it depends on if you think you might need to play Coker at wide receiver. If not, if you have enough depth, you don't think there's any chance in the world you're going to need to play him, then I would feel okay dropping him.
Tyler, what about you?
Honestly, dude, I'm fine with staying away from the Saints running back room because you don't know who it's going to be. I mean, we assume it's going to be Estime. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw they just picked up Naheem Hines to their practice squad. They could elevate
believe they
him. And then there was an Evan Hull is also there. So
Former
you don't
Colt.
know who it's going to be. Yeah, you don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be a committee regardless until somebody shows something for them. So I truly would probably just play Coker because I don't think I'm playing Estime over him unless I need an actual running back, like in my running back slot. I think I'm playing Coker regardless.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys. I'd probably do the same thing. But my question now to you, Coach, is I'm going to put you on the spot here. And again, we appreciate that super chat, Steven. So thank you for that. Who is your current right now big dynasty buy? I mean, we've got some teams that are rolling into the offseason playoffs. Maybe you've been eliminated. Maybe you're a tanking team. Who are you out there thinking, I'm willing to shop maybe my first round pick, my second round pick, something to go get a guy right now that you're looking towards for next year?
Give me a position. Give me a position first.
Let's go with the running back position. Let's start there, and then we'll get to the wide receiver position.
Now, running back's a little tough. The rookies have been kind of up and down. The best running back has been Kyle Monangai, really, rookie running back, other than him and Genty. But I'm not
Harvey.
Harvey, yeah, but I'm not selling the house for any of those guys. I'm not giving up so much for any of those guys. Woody Marks.
Woody Marks is
You
interesting.
know, yeah, I think now is an interesting time to buy Cam Scatterboo in a dynasty league.
That's probably
Yeah.
the one I like the most right there, to be honest.
It's a really interesting time to go make a buy for Scatterboo. You're not going to pay what you would have paid 3 months ago.
I mean,
Like, now's the time.
Take advantage. Tyler, what about you? What running backs out there are piquing your interest?
If we're going rookies, it's the guy I loved all season. It's Quinshon Judkins. Quietly, the running back 20 on the year so far. I mean, you look at an offense that we know is not like over the top great. Yes, Shador is there as the quarterback right now, but that could change very quickly. We've got several quarterbacks who could be on the move at the end of the season. You talk about Kyler, maybe getting out of Arizona, stuff like that. So there are ways that this quarterback room could be upgraded. It elevates the team, and then you have Quinshon in a backfield by himself. That would probably be my rookie pick. I think Genty is an okay ad. I'm not like selling the farm for him though, just because we've seen it now. The Raiders are just poorly run. Now, so are the Browns, and
You'll probably have to pay a lot for him too.
Exactly, that's the problem. Genty still has the name, whereas I don't think Quinshon, for whatever reason, I don't think people view him the same way, and so I would be willing to do that. The name that you're going to have to pay more for him now than you would have at the start of the season. But the name that I think probably has stuck out the most to me this year is Javonte Williams. I think he's played his way into that lead role, obviously in Dallas, but I think he'll get a contract there. I think he'll be there for the foreseeable future. He's played great all year. He's a complement to the Dak passing attack with CD and George Pickens. And I could easily see them saying, hey, look, we're going to sign Javonte for not necessarily a team-friendly deal, but respectable deal for running backs at this point, and then try to go sign George Pickens again. I could easily see that happening. So those are probably the two names that have stood out to me the most that you may have to pay a little bit for, but I think they'll return some value for you in the long term.
I mean, I like the Javonte Williams call. I think that's a good one to get. I'm kind of with you. I think he's going to get re-signed. I think he's going to get another opportunity there in Dallas. And even if he doesn't, I mean, he's shown enough to be a guy that can get the workload. I mean, he's only 25. You're going to have another solid 2 years of him. Probably someone you can get decently cheap. I mean, if you had an early second, maybe your team that just took a chance on a second, I'd be willing to throw it away for Javonte Williams right now. I mean, take the risk. I think worst case scenario, you ship him off for a second later on. Another name that I'm probably going to go look in on is Breece Hall. I mean, we know he's a free agent. If your team is eliminated and Breece Hall's on a team that's eliminated and your team allows trading, I would go check in right now. I mean, Breece Hall's 24 years old. He's going to be a free agent. He could easily end up on a team like Washington. He could end up on a team like the Kansas City Chiefs who need a running back, and he would immediately be the best player they have.
Absolutely. So you brought up the Chiefs. Do you have something to add to this conversation, Coach? Because I've got an interesting question now.
Well, yeah, I was just going to ask, what are your guys' thoughts on DeAndre Swift moving forward? Because he has played phenomenal, really, especially in the last 6 to 8 weeks. You could look at it as a sell kind of thing, because he's played really well. But is that usage going to change? If anybody is elite at the run game, it is Ben Johnson, and so is that offensive line.
I just think he's expendable. I'm not sure he's that good. So I would be fine with shipping him out. If someone offered you a first right now, I'd easily take it. If someone offered me 2 seconds, I'd probably take it.
I think I don't disagree, but I think it's going to be the same next year. If you like what you got from him, he's going to do it again.
He's 27 years old.
26.
He's about to turn 27.
But what about Monangai, though? We've talked about Monangai all year. I mean, do you not see a world where he plays his way into a higher snap share?
I just sort of think they're going to keep sharing it.
I mean, but does that not my thing is okay, say they share the same amount of snaps that they do now. You mean to tell me that Kyle Monangai in the same offense and the same snap share with another year under his belt doesn't contribute more so than he did as a rookie? That's where I'm just kind of saying if they're going to share the backfield, I want the one that's going to get the goal line touches, and that's probably going to be Monangai because of how he runs the ball.
So, I've been historically was a big DeAndre Swift hater. Going into the year, I was like, people need to be taking Swift, and I got a lot of pushback on that because there was no one else, right? But now Swift has played better than I would have ever imagined. And has had some really tough runs. Like his vision and everything after 5 weeks, his first 5 weeks has looked completely different. Now, I'm not saying he's elite, but I do think a shared role is inevitable.
And part of it, I think, is also because your interior three are moving earth, man.
They are.
They are moving earth. Like you could not ask for a better start from those big guys up front. I mean, and even your tackle, Darnell Wright, right? I mean, he's
the best.
He's so good in the run game.
As there is, yeah.
He's a bulldozer. Like he's literally a bulldozer.
The entire organization was changed, not just Ben Johnson, but when Tooney was brought in.
That guy's a winner.
He's a winner, yeah, and made everybody better. Like the Browns were screwed last weekend when it was 7 degrees, right? Because we're gonna line up and run it down your throat, which is pretty much what happened. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of usage going to come from those two guys. Now, I mean, it's hard to judge a complete timeshare, how you feel about that, but it really is similar to Gibbs and Montgomery as far as the style and the
it's
load
the Diet
share.
Coke version. They're just slightly worse than the Coke. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Tyler, what was your question there?
So we were talking about Rashee Rice originally. So we talked about Brees maybe going to the Chiefs, and I feel like now is a good time to bring it up because the Chiefs are out of the playoffs for the first time in like a decade. So that begs the question: what do you do with Patrick Mahomes if he is on your team, or just in general in your league? Are you trying to go acquire Patrick Mahomes off of the injury, or are you trying to get a discount, or are you just saying, nope, I'm going to see it first and just go with it?
I mean, if you're a rebuilding team and you're going to be rebuilding, or you're a dice roll to make the playoffs, like you got to hit on some picks, I would be interested in going to get Patrick Mahomes. I mean, right now, if I told you like you could turn Jordan Love into Patrick Mahomes, would you do it? I probably would. Would you turn, Baker Mayfield into Patrick Mahomes? I'd probably do it. Like, I think that there's opportunity for you there to take any of those other quarterbacks in that same range and get a plus back, and you're still netting Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah, he's got the ACL. Maybe he starts slow. Coach and I are going to disagree on whether the ACL matters or not, but that doesn't matter. I think he's Patrick Mahomes, and he's proved enough. I mean, a lot of people want to give him flack for how he played this year and, how they really weren't the same team. But at the same time, Patrick Mahomes was really dang good. I mean, he's the QB2 for a reason. And we don't really appreciate the fact that he's the QB2. I mean, he's using his legs way more this year. And you don't want to see that, but I still think he can sling it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, give me Patrick Mahomes all day. The disrespect and hate on him drives me insane. So I'm with you there. Like, he's not done. He's not close to done. He might start a little slow, but it means less at the quarterback position than other positions, right? He's so smart. He can move the ball with it. I mean, he doesn't have to be able to run like the wind to be effective at quarterback, right? You just got to be able to move and bootleg. Like, he doesn't have to do the things that Caleb Williams has to do because he can process so much faster.
And I'm not saying it's the same thing. Brady tore his ACL in his year 9. He turned out just fine. So, I mean, he could easily do another 10 years of tormenting the rest of us in the NFL and, win 5 more Super Bowls. Like, that's not crazy.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to some wide receiver talk, guys, as long as you guys have time, it's up to you. We've got 2 questions, so let's answer those real quick. Alex says, Brissett, I'm assuming that's Nix or Love at quarterback this week. 6-point passing touchdown. Coach, who are you going with? Brissett, Nix, or Love?
I think he's talking about
Oh,
JJ
9.
McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How could I mix that up? 9, bro. A nickname like that, it's just elite.
Sure.
Is it crazy to say Brissett?
Nope.
No, not at
That's
all.
where I'm going.
Not
That's
at
where
all.
I'm going all day, every day.
Easy enough. Moving on. Albert says Juwan Jennings or Devontae Smith, full PPR. I'm going Devontae Smith, Tyler.
Devontae Smith.
Or Coach.
I'm actually going Juwan. As long as Ricky Pearsall's not playing, I mean, yeah, you've got George Kittle and McCaffrey, but I'm going to take the shot on Juwan Jennings. I played him last week and got the 2 touchdowns out of him. Now, no, his yardage total was not great, but that being said, I mean, he's getting ready to take on Indy. We saw that defense struggle, and they've given up points all year. So I'm going to take Juwan Jennings and just hope he gets in the end zone.
Yeah. A couple questions here from Patrick. PPR need 1 wide receiver and a flex. We've got Waddle, Ibuka, BTJ, RJ Corum, Estime, and then PPR, which tied in. So let's take the first part here. Let's pick a wide receiver and a flex. I'm going to go with Ibuka and BTJ. No, I'm going to go with Ibuka and RJ Harvey.
Ibuka has taken a step back, so
He has.
Ibuka and I agree. RJ Harvey. I'm with you there.
Thomas is difficult. Like, I kind of want to say Thomas. He had 15 points this past week, 4 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. But I don't know. I just feel like Ibuka is bound to bounce back, and maybe that's a poor way to do it. So Tyler, break the tie here. What are you thinking?
I'd probably go Ibuka and RJ just because
Okay,
with the
we're
Jags
all together.
with the
Well,
Jags
that's a tight
going-
end. That's a tougher one.
Yeah, with the Jags going up against Denver, I'm not looking for that Patrick Surtain treatment. I don't want any part of that. So while Trevor Lawrence has been on fire recently, he's still looking at Jacoby Myers, and everybody else. So I would just hold off on BTJ for now.
So glad you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. We'll get back to that. Let's do this tight end question real quick right here. Warren, Waller, or Gadsden? Tyler, you're the tight end man.
Man, if you had asked me this like before they benched Tua, it's Waller all day. And I think it still is Waller, honestly. I think that's your bet. Waller has the best schedule. They're getting ready to take on Cincinnati. I mean, I think you just play him and you just hope Quinn Ewers does something. Tyler Warren, I'm not playing like right now with Phillip Rivers there. And Gadsden has fell off a cliff. The pass catchers for the Chargers have. So I'm gonna play Waller and hope he gets in the end zone like he did last week. I mean, you saw the garbage time. He scored 2 touchdowns in garbage time at the end of that game. I mean, just probably won the week for some people just based off of that. So I would roll with Waller there.
Coach, Drake May or Jacoby Brissett?
Man, I gotta keep playing Drake May.
He's been playing really dang good right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's been really good, even though they lost that game in hilarious fashion. Big comeback by the Bills there. Slick says half PPR, start 2, 1 flex with Pickens, Tet, Jamo, Igbuka, Keenan Allen, and Drake London. So I'm going to presume Drake London's out. Don't know for certain just yet. So we're picking 2 and a flex. I'm going to go Pickens, Jamo, and Tet. He practiced today, but he's been limited. I expect him to play. Oh, man, Ibuka or Tet is so tough. I'm going to go Tet.
it's a huge game. Panthers
It's a
at
huge
Bucks. That's a huge game. So I'm going Tet. Tet, Igbuka, and Jamo. Staying away from Pickens right now.
Yeah. What is Man, Pickens, he was running hot there for a second, and then it just has not performed the last like 3 weeks. Well, I guess 2 weeks. Against the Chargers, I think they're going to have to score. I think you play Pickens.
Yep.
And then you definitely play J-Mo. He's since Dan Campbell has taken over the play calling, he loves to use J-Mo. So you just play J-Mo. And then I think Matt was spot on with the Ted McMillan versus Igbuka question. I mean, if Ted McMillan is full practice the rest of the week, I think you go Ted. If not, you play Igbuka. If there's any limitations at all, I think.
Yeah.
So
we are now officially caught up again. So let's talk a little tight end or wide receiver if you guys have some time. Coach, you good? Tyler, you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well then let's talk about what wide receivers we're looking at. Same thing, dynasty. Who do we have our eye on? Who are we looking for as we move into this offseason phase? Maybe you've been eliminated. Maybe you can already trade. The immediate name that comes to mind, and I already did it a couple times, was I went out and bought Malik Neighbors. I think I bought 2 or 3 shares this offseason, and they were big trades. I know Coach was a part of one of them. No, you weren't a part of them. You're in the league where I traded Chase for Neighbors and a first or something like that. So made some big time swings. That's the first name that sticks out to me of, going out to look, but it's super expensive. So Tyler, what are some wide receiver names that you're thinking about to go out there and get?
Yeah, I mean, if I go back, and the way that I kind of look at it is I go back and I look at our leagues, right? Like, especially one we're all in. So like I'll go look at Ultimate, and then I go and I just go by leaders and look at, all right, who sticks out on the leaderboard, like of top performers that I didn't necessarily expect to be there. I think somebody, like, he's been slept on all year long. I think somebody you should be asking around the price on is Chris Olave. I mean, he's the wide receiver 8 currently. We just talked about Shuck and how Shuck's been completing these passes and he's looked great. I mean, he's the number 1 option there. I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, yes, you have the scares with the concussions and this, that, and the other, but you can have injury history with anybody. So for me, I'm probably going Chris Olave. He's, like I said, quietly been a top 10 wide receiver all year. If you're going a little more obscure, I mean, it may be somebody like Michael Wilson. I mean, we're talking about how they look and how this Cardinals offense looks. Is it because Jacoby Brissett just chucks the ball 20 million times? Maybe that's the thing. But I mean, he looks good. He looks good on the field. He runs great routes. Somebody was talking earlier. I don't remember who it was, but I was listening to something that was like his break off the line is the same every time. And he said, you never know where he's going. Every route is great. He said, it's just, he's open. Now, I think when Marv comes back, obviously there's that. We'll see how Marv develops. Coach has been known to say that Marv isn't the blue chip guy that, he was drafted to be. Coach has been saying that for a long time. And while I'm still kind of on the fence, I lean more towards agreeing with him now than I ever have. So, I mean, at this point, you get to the point where somebody has to produce in the offense. So if Michael Wilson's already done it, why not him? I mean, you might as well. That's just kind of 2 names I'm looking at. I feel like that people are probably undervaluing right now.
So I'm gonna give you 2 different names. The first one that jumps out at me is Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey has not had the season everybody hoped he would have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or expected him to have. I think he's caught like 61 balls this year. Numbers are significantly down from what we all thought they would be. But I do expect a bounce back from him next year. So I think you can get him a little cheaper now. Definitely cheaper now than you could have this time a year ago. Another guy is who I've always been a fan of, Luther Burden. Luther Burden's role is going to continue to increase. Would not shock me at all if this time next year we're having the same JMO conversation about Luther Burden in this offense. His role expands more and more every week, and I just see that continuing to grow between now and this time next year.
Yeah, I think you're right about Ladd. I mean, he's one of those guys that, in my opinion, he just passes the eye test. Like, you can see it. This Chargers team hasn't really been the same team that they were last year. I mean, Coach, you mentioned that QJ started off really, really hot. That kind of took away from his opportunity. They brought in Keenan Allen, who's, taken at least something away from him. The offensive line absolutely destroyed to start the year, so they didn't really get to stay put together. And then we get to the end of the year where Ladd, middle of the season from about week 5 to week 10 or so, he was playing pretty good. I mean, getting double digits most games, getting plenty of opportunities. I mean, 9 targets, 15 targets, 10 targets, 7 targets. And then in the last few weeks, we've had Justin Herbert get hurt. So it's just been one of those things where it's been one thing after another. Now the Chargers continue to win football games. Harbaugh continues to be a solid coach, in my opinion. So I think that I'm with you, Coach. He's a name that I would go and inquire. I mean, he's quietly been, someone that I think is being slept on for what he's done being the wide receiver 26 versus what he did last year as the wide receiver 12 or 15 or whatever he was. And it's just one of those things that I think he can improve on that next year. I mean, he's been fine. He passes the eye test, so I'm with you there. And I kind of feel the same way about Brian Thomas. Like, I think Brian Thomas is someone that, we talked a lot about at the beginning of the year where he was making some scared plays, not really getting anything done. But at the same time, I think his name's kind of fallen a little bit too far down. Like, middle of the year, people were talking, do you cut Brian Thomas and redraft? Like, they were wanting him gone. And so I think I would check in on him. Again, he's another one of those guys, 23 years old, lightning fast. Hands could certainly have some improvement. So I would check in on that. And same with Travis Hunter, too. I really would. He's been hurt. Haven't got to see that. So I would be intrigued to see what his value is. I mean, before he left and was injured, he was playing a ton of wide receiver.
I got one more honorable mention, and it's just because he's been out of the spotlight for so long now, people may just be like, I've forgotten about him, and that's Garrett Wilson. I mean, he hasn't played, let's see, he hasn't played since week 10 at this point. So, I mean, you're talking about 6 weeks of his name being non-existent. He's sitting on IR just where they're going to shut him down for the year, I'm sure, because of what do they have to play for. But I mean, we've seen Garrett Wilson in his history in the league so far. He's been in the league. This is his 4th season, and he has come out with his lowest targets other than this year being injured was 147. That's the lowest target number he's had so far. I think you definitely go kick the tires on Garrett Wilson. He's obviously their best player. He's somebody who people have probably forgotten about at this point, or he's been on an injured team that is maybe in a rebuild. Maybe they're trying to just move things around, retool a little bit. So just see kind of where he lands at on their trade scale there.
Yeah. Coach, any final wide receiver thoughts? Then we can hit these questions and then maybe talk tight end and wrap up.
No, and I really like the Garrett Wilson thing. I think that's the quarterback upgrade there is obviously going to be essential to Garrett Wilson. So that's going to be something to monitor. But now's a great time to go get him before that upgrade happens.
Yep, totally agree. Ray has some big ones here, so bear with me, guys. Start 2 wide receivers in the non-PPR standard 6-point. Jefferson versus Jefferson versus the Giants, Sutton and the Jags, Rice the Titans, or Reed versus the Bears. Will likely sit BTJ versus Denver and Ibuka versus the Panthers with Rice and concussion. Tyler, pick 2 of these guys.
Who? Honestly, this is coming from somebody who last week was in the playoffs, and I had this question, but I was backed into playing him. I don't know how you play Justin Jefferson at this point. I mean, it's been tough, and I never thought I would hear myself say those words. But I mean, I would, if I'm going out of these guys, Rice is probably not going to play versus the Titans, and if Reed plays, it's not going to be great. I don't assume. I would probably go Sutton, and I'd probably play Egbuka versus the Panthers. That's who I would most likely go for. I think they're two good shots at a touchdown, especially if you're doing non PPR. So all it takes is Egbuka to catch one ball for a touchdown. That's it.
Coach, any
Yeah.
difference there?
No, if Rice plays, you play him. I mean, Minshew will
Yes.
throw it around. You know that. I don't think he'll play. I'm with Tyler there. I'm Sutton, and I'm Igbuka.
What about Burrow or Lamar, Coach?
Lamar.
Tyler?
Yeah, I think I'm playing Lamar. I mean,
I'm
Burrow's
playing
just,
Burrow over Lamar.
Burrow just hasn't looked the same. I mean, it's a toss up. You know, at this point, like
Burrow
it's a different
disgusts
game.
me right now. By the way, yeah, come on, that dude right now. Golly. You play football for a living. Like, please stop pouting after every game. Like,
God, get a little Phillip Rivers in him. Am I right? Jason says, "Are we playing London
not
if
wrong.
he plays?" Same injury as Bowers and Ricky. Both came back being garbage. Also, Chiefs defense or Saints defense this week. Just go with the Saints defense. They're number 3 on the list, so go with the Saints. Am I playing London? Maybe. It depends on who I'm having to play him over would be the big question mark for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Assuming I start Javante and Barkley at running backs, am I crazy for benching Kyron due to quorum 50-50? Yeah, 100% you're crazy. I'm starting
yeah, you're
Kyron.
crazy. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm playing him somewhere. I don't know who's in your flex, but that's kind of where I would lean.
Well, he's got it right here. I mean, he's saying he needs to start 2 out of these last few names: Kyron, Hampton, or Vidal, Carter, Sutton, or Terry. I mean, I'm playing Kyron over all those guys easily.
100%.
And I think the next question is, do you go Sutton or Terry? Personally, that's where I'm
Totally
at.
agree. Totally
Yep,
agree. And I would go
100.
Sutton over Terry.
Yeah.
Yep.
At this
I agree.
point, yes, I agree. So I think it's Kyron and Sutton, and you played Javante and Saquon too. So
Yep, I'm total agreement there. Start one, Warren with a 67-year-old quarterback the coach went to high school with. Waller, Loveland, Loveland or Schultz, Tyler. Is it too soon to bring up Dalton Schultz, or do you want me to pass this question to someone else, Tyler?
at this point, let me tell you something. So you're already starting Nico and your opponent has CJ. The whole double block thing, I don't care. Schultz is the second best weapon on the Texans offense right now, and you play him every chance you get. I don't care. You have Warren. I'm not playing him right now. Waller, you could throw him out there and see what he does. Great. He's getting ready to play the Bengals. But that bit me in the butt last week because I played Isaiah Likely thinking, oh, he did great the first game. Didn't do anything. Goosed me. So at this point, I'm playing Schultz. He's the most stable piece at tight end out of this group, and I'm playing him. Even if I'm playing Nico, you can get a big game from both because it just happened.
He's going to get a ton of targets.
Mm-hmm.
That line's turned around too.
And they're playing the Raiders,
I'm with you.
so
Yeah.
it's not going to be tough.
Coach picked 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flexes here. Rico, Hampton, Vidal, Pollard, Kamara, McMillan, Wandale, Shakir, and Burden.
Ooh, my boy Burden. A lot of questions out there about who's going to play for the Bears at wide receiver. A lot of issues there, whether Rome's going to play, if Burden's going to play. So that's a concern. Pollard, Rico. I'm going Rico, and gosh, Pollard.
I'm going Hampton.
Bingo.
They're playing
Yeah,
Dallas.
okay. Yeah.
Give a bunch of points to the
Wide
running back
receiver.
position.
Shakir is an anomaly, man. Like, that guy drives you
You just
crazy.
don't know if he's going to be,
No.
10 targets or if he's going to get 2 targets for 5 yards.
I feel like that's the whole Bills offense. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's the answer. So I think all that to say is we're going Rico, Hampton, Tet, Wandale, and
Toss up of the last 2.
yeah.
Flip a coin.
Yeah. Burden, maybe if the opportunity is there from some missing guys, maybe that's the route I would go.
That's what I would probably do.
Rank these top 3 quarterbacks from this group: Burrow, Brissett, Bo Nix, Trevor, Darnold, Caleb, and Rodgers. Tyler, go.
Top 3 quarterbacks in order to start. Out of this, okay. I got to look at
that's a lot. You have all those guys.
that is a lot.
You
Okay.
gotta stay strapped, man. Gotta have them all.
So
4-man league.
I'm gonna start Brissett out of these guys. That's the one. That's my number one. I'm going Brissett. Let's see. Who did the Jags play again? We just talked about it. I know.
They
Broncos.
play the Broncos. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go Brissett. As much as I hate to say it, probably Burrow, and then Caleb would be my third. Losing Micah Parsons off the Packers defense, I think, will play a bigger part than we all expect Micah Parsons to be a big part of the game, but him tearing his ACL and being out, I mean, I think it's gonna give Caleb more time, and we've already seen what he does with time at this point. I mean, did you guys see the side by side of the Caleb play with DJ Moore in the back of the end zone, and I think it was Joe Montana's rollout? Did you see that?
Mm-mm. No.
It was like a side by side comparison of like the film, and it's like they both roll out just like that. It's like last second out of bounds off platform, throws it to the back of the end zone, and it's just like the ball disappears and the wide receiver comes up with it. Like it's actually
Caleb, it's Montana. I've been saying it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying go look
Super
at it.
Bowl
It's actually pretty
inbound,
cool.
man. It's on the way. It's in the mail.
That guy.
Okay. Let's wrap up these last 3 questions and get out of here, guys.
He is fast. He is fast. Go ahead.
He is fast. Coach, pick 2: Michael Wilson, Sutton, Flowers, McLaurin.
Michael Wilson and Sutton.
Nice. I agree. Baker over Lamar. Tyler.
Yes, I would go Baker over Lamar this week. It's a must-win game for them against the Panthers. I'd go for it.
Yeah. 12-man PPR start who? 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Dang, everyone giving us their full lineups. Brissett, running backs, CMC, and Jones. Wide receivers, I'm doing Olave and Diggs. Tight end, Ferguson.
Yep.
And then Rams defense. Sounds right.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Do you think Christian Watson plays this week, Coach?
Yes.
Adonai Mitchell or DJ Moore?
I think Watson practiced today. Adonai Mitchell, DJ Moore. DJ Moore. Especially if I keep an eye on that. If Roman Dunze doesn't play, I'm getting DJ Moore in the lineup quickly.
Good point. Any last minute thoughts before we get out of here, folks?
Just at this point, like I heard a comment from the footballers, and it helped me feel a little bit better about losing in one of my playoffs last week. It takes skill to make it to the playoffs. You got to have some luck to win in the playoffs. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. You're good at what you did. You built a team right. But sometimes it's just you get unlucky, dude. So you just roll with the punches.
It happens.
Well, we say all the time, like if we just get in the playoffs, you got a chance. It doesn't matter if you're the 1 seed or the 6 seed. You get in the playoffs, now luck takes over. There's only so much you can do. So
sometimes Alvin Kamara scores 6 touchdowns on Christmas, and you got to deal with it. It happens. So we'll see.
True.
But best of luck to everyone in Week 16 and their playoff run. We appreciate you for being here. If you stayed in, if you rewatched this time, please send us a like, subscribe to the Face Off Sports Network, follow us on X at the FF Mediators, check out the Patreon, join the Discord. It is free. We're going to have all sorts of content coming in this offseason. We're ready to get into these rookie breakdowns, talk about some rookies. That's our favorite part. But until then, we will catch you guys in the next one.